New flavor of Gorilla Mode dropping. I don't know when, but now that we're allowed to actually tell you guys what the flavor is. Grape cotton candy. I'm not actually a big grape guy, but this is good. It's not super overpowering. And at the very, very end, there's a little hint of cotton candy, so it's a little bit different, but just to keep your expectations realistic, it's basically just grape. But like I said, it's not overpowering, so I don't think you're gonna get sick of it, and it mixes well with other stuff. But yeah, this is dropping soon. As always, you can use code EVAN to enjoy the flavor that much more, because if you use my code, it just makes everything better. This is what I'm gonna be taking today for, we got a back day on the menu, which I think the last video was back day as well. I don't know, there's like 2 or 3 videos currently being edited right now, because we're pounding out these vlogs for you guys. But yeah, back day today at the new Fitness FX. So one of the gyms that I train at just moved locations, got a bunch of new equipment. Hopefully, you know, the location's better, gym is bigger, lighting's better, new equipment and stuff like that. So today will be the first time that I go to this gym, so I'm taking you guys along for that. High expectations. Everyone has been going has had great things to say about it. So I am very eager to take this pre. So I'm going to do that because I always show you guys how intense my pre-mixture is, and it takes me forever to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it today, so I'll save you guys that. But yeah, that's what's on the docket for today, and I'm excited. Let's get into it. Oh, fucking YoungLA, baby. Get too distracted when we film because I'm thinking about all these different things, and didn't put my boots on. These are my indoor shoes, or like my summer sandals, you know? I got them Lord Farquaad boots on. Okay, so somehow, because this is of the highest quality, but somehow there's now a hole in my muffler, and if I already didn't look degenerate enough rallying this humble Subaru Impreza 2010, it now sounds like shit, and I sound like even more of a degenerate. Even if I drive it like politely, it just sounds awful. But you know, it is what it is. This is my war chariot, so I got to, you know, ride into battle with pride. But yeah, it just does not sound good. Because it sounded so good before. So recently I've been having a little bit of trouble sleeping, so I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit, and I won't ramble as long as I did in the last couple of videos, but I want to talk a little bit about like what I have been doing to improve my sleep and what you guys can do to improve your sleep, because sleep is the natural lifter's PEDs. Like the difference that good quality, consistent good quality sleep makes is like you guys just, if you wouldn't be able to fathom it, like it makes that big of a difference. Like I've seen studies before comparing sleep, you know, sleep deprived people with people who are getting like a sufficient amount of sleep, and the differences in like, you know, injury prevention and performance and like muscle gain and things like that is like, it is literally comparable to that of like being on PEDs. So if you are not sleeping properly, everyone already like always knows like, oh, you know, training's the easy part, it's diet and recovery, that's the hard part. Like of those two things, sleep is probably more important than diet, even just to the extent that it helps like your mental so much. Like your neurotransmitters and your brain chemistry relies so heavily on sleep. So basically the biggest things, I've been having trouble sleeping. I think for me, it's the biggest thing is that I've just been drinking way too much water. So I have to wake up in the middle of the night like 2 or 3 times to piss. You have neurons in your bladder, I'm pretty sure, that basically sense when you have to use the bathroom, and they wake you up. So they elevate your nervous system to a more like aroused or like activated state. And in order to prevent you from peeing your bed, basically, I'm sure there's a more like, you know, profound evolutionary like reason for that. But essentially when you have to piss, it wakes you up. So if you kind of have to pee through the entire night, you're not gonna be able to get into as deep of a sleep. So for me, I've cut all drinking, like all water out, other than the absolutely necessary water after 8 p.m. because I generally go to sleep around 11. So that's a big one for me. But another really big one is that I think a lot of people like really underestimate is getting up, like waking up in the morning at the same time every single day. That's a huge one. If you can do that, then your body will get into that routine, and obviously that's pretty like well known, but I think people underestimate like how significant, how much easier things are if you have a consistent circadian rhythm, and how much easier it is to fall asleep, and the better quality, like how much better the quality of your sleep is if you're getting up at a consistent time and going to bed at a consistent time. Some of the other main ones are you want to keep your room as dark as possible. So blackout blinds, you know, covering little lights and stuff in your room. Like, you know, I have a power bar in my room that I have like my Xbox and my laptop and stuff plugged into. So I put a little t-shirt just kind of over the lights, just because when the rest of the room is dark, those little lights do actually illuminate the room quite a bit. You want to keep your room as cold as you can, while obviously, you know, not freezing, but because as your body temperature drops, you get into a deeper sleep. And then as your body temperature rises, that's kind of part of arousing your body or your nervous system. So again, a cooler core body temperature or a lower core body temperature is going to help you sleep more deeply. Some other things are you don't want to eat too close to going to sleep, just because if your body's trying to digest food, then that is going to require some nervous system activation. So you don't want to eat like a huge meal before you go to bed. Unfortunately, I do that all the time, but I don't generally find through trial and error that actually affects my sleep too much. But yeah, those are the big ones. Obviously, avoiding caffeine. Ideally, you know, avoiding caffeine within the 12 hours before you go to sleep. Obviously, that's pretty unrealistic for some people. So for me, it's closer to like 10 hours. But generally, caffeine has a quarter life of about 10 hours, I think. So if you have 100 milligrams of caffeine, 10 hours later, there's still 25 milligrams of caffeine acting on your system. So that's another big one. You know, a lot of people, especially students, you know, if you guys are, you know, you don't want to study and it's getting late at night or whatever, and you're like, fuck, like, you know, I got to get some studying done today and I don't want to do it, so I'll just have one coffee. But then even if you can fall asleep, it's going to potentially ruin the sleep quality, or at least definitely negatively affect it. So those are some big things. You know, Andrew Huberman, I've spoken about him before. He runs the Huberman Lab podcast on Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff, YouTube as well. He is an absolute wagon just in terms of like promoting, you know, a healthy lifestyle through like really easy things to do. Like you don't have to buy any expensive drugs or like any expensive machines or anything. So he's a great resource, and he's all about sleep. So he has a couple huge podcast episodes that are a couple hours long each that'll talk to you and teach you about all of these different tools you can use to optimize your sleep. And for me, I've been using them and it makes a massive difference. And I really just can't tell you guys enough, especially if you're a natural lifter, like how important it is to get good quality sleep. Even in the context of just like your mental health. Like if you have depression, like that can be not fully alleviated, but like absolutely helped. Same with anxiety, if you start sleeping better. So, and if you know, if you've been watching my videos for a little while now, you'll know I'll talk about, or following me on Instagram, you'll know I'll talk about like getting a lot of sunlight and stuff. So that's another thing I do is basically first thing in the morning, I'll go out and stand on my balcony for 10 minutes and just get 10 minutes of sunlight, because that helps trigger your body to fall asleep earlier in the evening and then sleep more deeply. And it just kind of reinforces your circadian rhythm. So that's another tool, another one that Dr. Huberman also talks about. So anyway, I don't want to talk for too long. That is my spiel on sleep. I thought it would be something pertinent to talk about because it's something that I'm currently dealing with. But yeah, we are now at the gym. We're in the parking lot. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever been to this gym because it just opened. So I have high hopes, a lot of new machines and stuff like that apparently. So we're gonna have some fun today and get a juicy pump.
2, 1. I also just tilted the tab back. You're good though.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like a kid in a candy shop here. I'm super fired up to see that like Halifax, which is, you know, a super small city. Up until this point, we had this gym in a different location, which like had all really old equipment and stuff like that. And then Good Life, you know what I mean? Like that's basically all we had here. So I'm really fired up to see that like kind of a more like well-equipped, it's not even hardcore, but like a nicer quality, better equipped gym we now have that in Halifax. So like, I'm just super excited. The lighting here is great. The space is huge. It's super big and spacious, and the equipment's new. I'm pretty sure, just because I have a couple of friends who are more in the know than I am, they're friends with the owner. They say that there's even more equipment still on the way and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's just really great to see. I'm fired up, and it's encouraging, you know what I mean? That the industry, the sport, whatever you want to call it, lifting is growing in this area. And you know, for people like me who lifting is, you know, a huge part of my life, and it's how I make my living, really. This is now making that easier and better. So content will now be better. This will be probably where I get the majority of my content from now on. And yeah, this is just a big win-win. I'm happy, I'm really excited. I'm fucking wasted after that. Just because it's hard for me to stay social and like function at a high level for that long. But yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm really excited about that new spot. It's just going to make content so much better moving forward. There's just so much more opportunity there because there's so much more space. The lighting's better. The posing room is fucking sweet. More equipment on the way too. Like they're getting a pendulum squat, a bunch of different pressing machines, back machines. You know, they're getting a forearm machine, which is sick because I'm trying to get some fucking beefy forearms this bulk. But yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Probably have 2 or 3 more in the works right now. So the next couple of weeks are going to be very busy as far as pounding out videos. But if you enjoyed, sub the channel and stay tuned for all the steak videos that are in the works already and on the way.